In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. I want to tell you about another saint from this book, the Synaxarion. It's worth every penny. I read all of the lives, but I'm really edified by the lives of those who were treated unfairly in some way and became martyrs, or who apostatized or appeared to apostatize and became martyrs. And the reason why is because in our day, we're going to have a lot of apostasy. It's happening now. There's a soft apostasy happening. There's people that are so filled with, stupidity that they want to give in to the world and the world's ideas and still consider themselves to be orthodox. And then eventually these things will not be so optional, and there's going to be apostasy. And maybe you and I are going to be having troubles. Maybe you and I are going to have a weak moment. Therefore, we should learn about these holy saints who had weak moments, but then they were restored. And so this is the case with this saint, who is Saint Athanasios of Attalia, who suffered in Smyrna in 1700. Basically, he was just a regular person, just a regular Christian. But what happened was he had an argument, or not an argument, he just said something to somebody where he said, there is no God but God. Well, that's a true statement, right? But if you take it in the context in which a Muslim talks about it, then he would say you're making part of the Muslim confession of faith. And so he was brought before the judge, and he said, no, I am not a Muslim. I am a Christian. I wish to remain a Christian, etc. He was put in prison, and eventually he was put to torments. And he was beheaded. Doesn't sound fair, does it? Doesn't sound fair at all. We think things should be fair, right? Part of the stress in our life right now, our political life, is people expect things to be fair. So the election was not fair, or the way certain people are treated is not fair, or the way migrants are treated are not fair. Everybody's got a grievance. I'm not saying that any of these things are not reasonable to be concerned about, but we get so uppity about things being fair. Why don't we instead live a Christian life with humility, and perhaps there's a time when it's not going to be fair to us. Perhaps we'll be put in prison because of our stance about, the vaccine, for instance, or a political opinion, or something of that nature. What are you going to do? Well, you can say it wasn't fair. Great. You're going to have a big crybaby jag. That's not going to help you. What's going to help you is to be like this Athanasios. Well, he was misunderstood, or he spoke out of turn, or somebody had it in for him. What does it matter? He's in paradise now. So that's what we should do. We should not be so concerned about life being fair to us. So much, if you look at politics, it's all about stuff is not fair. These guys, they're not fair. These guys, they're not fair. These guys, they're racist. These guys, they're that. These guys, they're that. Well, okay. Some of that stuff's true. But how are you going to live your life? By complaining about people all the time? I don't think so. You should live your life instead where you are struggling to live the Christian life and be ready for what might happen. So the reason why I talk about these saints that have appeared to be apostate, in this case he appeared to be an apostate, or became apostates, or something else, is because I think that's going to be happening in the near future. And who knows? Maybe you think you're strong. Maybe that wouldn't happen to you. I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say that with God helping me, I will never deny my sweetest Jesus. But if I'm weak in some way, by the prayers of these saints, I would be restored. So I pray to these saints every day. I do a prostration to each one of them every day, and I invite you to do that also. May God bless you. May God help you in all things. Amen.